Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast, the podcast about friendship, the podcast about fun, the comedy podcast, lots of things, but most importantly, we're about friends. This week, we had a doozy, a good one. You might know him from Chelsea Handler. He was also on Naked, sure, it's some show where he's like naked. Can't remember what it's called. Do you remember? Naked After Dark. The one, the only, Josh Wolf. Man, what an easy guy to talk to. Super fun, super cool. The hour just flew by. I didn't even get to any of the questions that I prepared for him because it was just so smooth and free-flowing and chill. He's a great guy. Big laugher, big personality. Super, super cool guy. I'm excited for you guys to get to know him better. Handsome guy, cool guy, very funny. You guys are going to love this episode. If you are listening to us on Podbean or Revolver or iTunes, give us a rating. Rate us. You know, that helps us climb the ladders and do good things. So give us a rating or leave a comment. Or if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you'd like to watch this podcast, you can subscribe to my Patreon. It's $10 a month. And you think, what does the $10 a month get me? Well, the $10 a month gets you unlimited stand-up comedy tickets to my shows. If I'm in the town you are, if you come to my town, you'll get free comedy club tickets. You'll also be able to watch this podcast weekly. You'll get exclusive content that's just for Patreon subscribers. You'll be able to live live Patreon video with me when we do those, and you get little random gifts and gadgets. But anyways, we love you guys. Go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye, and just for $10 a month, you can watch this beautiful episode. Otherwise, enjoy. We love you guys, and yeah, let's get into the episode. Oh, also, this is week 47, which is a big shout out to I can't think of any athletes. Who did you say earlier? Howie Kendrick. Yeah, shout out to Howie Kendrick. Enjoy the episode.
Oh my God, dude. And do you remember what the visual that when I think of the Comedy Underground, what I think of is getting on stage and seeing that thin layer of smoke up against the ceiling.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was a basement and everybody smoked cigarettes and there was nowhere for it to go.
And for a while after the smoking ban, they were just like, we're not doing that. We heard about the law.
Yeah, no, that doesn't concern us.
It's ridiculous. Why would we do that law? I would work that club being like, Griffey used to come here.
Yeah.
Like, I used to get so excited that, like, because Griffey was like already a Red.
Yeah.
But I was like, Griffey used to come in here. Maybe someday when the Reds play the Mariners.
Andy Hawkins, who used to pitch for the...
Andy Hawkins.
Right, he used to pitch for I think his first name was Andy. I think so. He had a brother too, but he used to pitch for the Mariners. He also pitched for the Yankees. But he used to bartend on the nights that he wasn't pitching.
What?
After the game, he would come in and stand behind the bar and bartend.
That's great.
Incredible. It was like...
Well, that way he gets to meet people.
Yep.
He gets to meet girls. He can also be like, I'm not drinking and partying, I'm working. But like you can still...
You're still in the mix. Yeah. There's a separation between you and the people. Yeah. So you can talk to them, but they can't really touch you.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. And it was the one place also...
Andy Hawkins.
I gotta
look him up.
It was the one place... Tall, handsome,
Did he play
for
the Mariners or did he play for...
He played for the Mariners and the Yankees, not at the same time, obviously.
Right.
But
that'd be quite a feat.
Yeah, right.
Could. But Jeff Nelson style.
Yeah.
Jeff Nelson was Yankee Mariner, and he always picked the years to go when they win a championship. Like it was amazing.
One of my most hated players of all time.
Jeff Nelson? Really?
Just that thin-lipped, thin mustache look.
He looked like a Yankee. He'd
Yes.
come in and would just like give you the business.
Oh, he looked like and when he pitched for the Yankees, you know I'm a Red Sox fan. When he
He
pitched
hurt
for the
you.
Yankees, he killed us.
And he looked like a guy who would serve you papers. Like he'd be like,
Yes.
"Hey, are you Josh Wolf? Mm-hmm. You're being served." You're
for
like, "God
sure.
damn."
Like if he wasn't in a Yankee uniform and he was wearing a security guard uniform at the mall, I'd be like, yeah, I believe that
makes
too.
a buzz cut.
Yeah, I
Yeah, the
believe-
real
yeah,
short.
yeah.
I think he was like 6'7" or so.
Squinty eyes, thin lips.
He was a coach at Kentwood High School for basketball. So he would or not coach, I'm sorry. He would referee.
Yeah.
He would referee high school basketball.
Wait, during the season?
Yeah, well, no, like during the off season or like whenever he could, like if they didn't have a game.
Because
He lived
high
in
school
Issaquah.
basketball's like now, like
Yeah.
this, like in December, January.
Yeah.
And he had a house in Issaquah. And so that was what he did for fun. Like for hobby, he would like ref these games. And I remember kissing. A lot of people didn't know. They just thought it was some tall. They didn't put it together. It was like before the internet, you know? And I remember being like, dude, Jeff Nelson's here. And I would always come out and give him baps.
Yeah.
He like kind of liked the attention. I was like, where's the rings? He's like, I can't wear them on the court. And I was like,
I would wear those rings
all the time.
every
Why
occasion.
is pro athletes not doing that?
Every I would have the one problem I had back when Brett Favre sent that dick pic is he didn't have his ring on his dick. Like if I'm sending my dick out, I'm letting everybody know this dick is a Super Bowl
It's a
champ.
champ.
Absolutely.
It's a champ. That's right.
I'm at least putting the ring next to the dick just for be like, hey, just in case you weren't sure
He
what was
sent
happening.
that
You know
to
what I mean?
that comedian Jen
Jen,
Sturgeon.
it's such a nice woman.
She's great, beautiful. Everything about her is great. The worst part about Jen is that she doesn't want to talk about it.
Not anymore.
You'll have
She's
her, like
done.
on a podcast. She's like, I'm not talking about that anymore. Like, how are we not talking about
yeah,
that?
yeah, that's what I need to ask you.
That's on the resume. Like you almost took down Brett Favre. Like nobody could take down Brett Favre.
Not then. Hey, I will tell you something else also. If I had a dick that looked like that, I think I'd have warmed it up first before I sent the picture.
That just shows how great he is.
You're right. He's so confident.
He's like, what am I worried about?
Doesn't matter. That dick
I
was.
sent this. You send me some stuff. You know, like also, I would love to know.
Super casual.
Yeah.
I send this.
What?
You send me some
You wanted
stuff.
my dick, right? That's
But
what
that
it was.
dick was one knuckle away from being a
Awful.
thumb.
It was
You know what I
awful,
mean?
yeah.
Like it was not a good looking dick.
But maybe,
You
yeah,
know
like
what I mean?
he sends that. She goes, well, I'm still going to have sex with him. It's Brett Favre. And then when they have sex, she's like, oh my gosh. This is so, and he's like, yeah, I didn't send it hard. Like, I didn't.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
didn't.
Maybe
There
it's
you
part
go.
of the strategy.
Sure.
But it never got to that point because Jen didn't let it get to that point. So he's like, hey, it's bigger normally.
Yeah, he sent the text was, this is Green Bay in December, dick. You know what I mean? This isn't LA in spring. This is Green Bay in December,
Exactly.
dick.
Yeah, what are you mad about? It's freezing. My hands are cold. That is so weird. But also,
Oh my
I'd
god.
love to see the thread. What did she say?
She actually didn't respond to him.
Okay, but
So I had her on
what
my podcast.
happened
She talked-
before
she
she
talked
got
to
to
me
the
about-
picture.
So
Nothing. You don't. We're men. I've sent a dick pic a few times, and it was very solicited.
Yeah.
I mean, she's practically being like, "This is unfair. You don't send me anything." I was like, "Ugh," and I did it because I'm
So you
not
sent a
very-
picture of his dick?
Yeah,
All right,
not
here's a
very
dick,
comfortable.
but it's not mine.
Yeah, I've done that.
You're welcome, lady. You're welcome.
She's like, "Why is it black?" You're like, "Oh, you wanted a picture of my dick?" I don't know.
I thought you wanted one
Yeah.
not Green Bay in December.
I went
dick.
online.
Okay.
I found a good one. I shot that up. No, but like that's the thing. Is like I've never just blanketly
But
the arrogance.
have you ever been Brett Favre?
No.
Right. So
Yeah.
the way she explained it to me, and we did this conversation a long time ago, so I'm going to try to.
It's been
remember.
like 7 years or
But
so.
basically, what she said was that she had been introduced to him because of her job,
Yeah.
and that he got her number from somebody else.
right.
Right. So it was.
I get
even the
all that was very
contact was
predatory.
unsolicited.
Like
yeah.
I get that he's like, give me her number. I can get any dancer. I can get any cheerleader. I'm Brett Favre, and he's lived this life of that kind of privilege. So most of the time it works out. I bet it's worked out 100% of the time.
99
before
out of
this.
100. You know,
But
he was like, "What's going on?
yeah.
Did you tell her that it was my dick?"
Yeah, exactly. Does one of our dancers not watch football? This is ridiculous.
And you told her it was Green Bay in December,
Yeah,
dick, right?
this is ridiculous.
yeah.
She not know she's lived here for how long? She knows
Yeah,
it's
it
cold.
makes no sense. What is she into the brothers?
Yeah, come on.
What's this? She not like Brett Favre? I'm a legend.
And she's not the one who leaked the picture.
Right.
Like all of this was one of the reasons for her that it was so unfair is that not only did she not want the dick pic, but she didn't want it out there that he had sent her a dick pic.
Right.
So she
But that makes the story so much more salacious if it's like a beautiful dancer that he preyed on.
And she was trying, and then so when the attention came, and then she still got the blame, it really fucked her up.
Well, and also this is a narrative like in society that happens all the time. And I'm not like some like feminist weirdo guy, but in this one social thread, I definitely am, where the fact that I hate how often they blame the hot woman.
Yeah.
They do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like with Kobe, the whole Kobe thing is like, everyone was ready to turn on her. Like, oh, that whore who sleeps with NBA players. You're like, she's a grown-up. She's allowed to have sex with NBA players. Why are you not mad at him? He's married.
Yeah.
She's just a hot chick who wants to have sex with NBA players.
Yeah.
She still gets to decide if she wants it in her butt or vagina. She still gets to choose.
That seems to be something that we should still
you get
people,
to pick. Just because I'm let's say I'm a hot woman who wants to have sex with basketball players.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I just forfeit all my rights and let him have what he wants. And the same with this situation is like they were so excited to turn it on a hot chick.
But I think
slut. I bet she was like. I bet she was asking for it. You're like, no.
But in general, not just with this, in general, just look at politics. You decide that you are going to believe whoever you want to believe.
Right.
That's it. So you're just going to believe whatever facts they give you.
Sure.
Because there are facts that people can dole out on whatever.
On both.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just decide, I like this person, so I'm going to believe their facts.
100%. And I've always said the best reason to get famous, the best reason to get wealthy and famous is you'll always have the simpletons out of being like, oh, they're just trying to get my money.
Yeah.
Let's say I do a horrific crime tomorrow.
Do you want to pick it?
I could just spin it. I could spin it a week later like, oh, that's not real. They're just trying to get my money.
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, I bet that is true.
Actually, I did see that there's a video. No, that's not me.
Yeah.
No, but you said, hi, I'm Jeff Dye. No, but it was...
It's all fake. It's Photoshop. It's Photoshop.
Yeah, but your voice. No. But it was, I've said, hi, I'm Jeff Dye on stage.
A million
and
times.
and they taped it and then they played it.
Have you never heard of CGI? That's how that...
He was getting in your car. No, but that isn't... But the vanity license plate. No,
that's not mine. Mine is spelled different.
But the semen at the scene. No, but I left some in a bathroom at the airport.
I leave my semen everywhere. They could have got that from any comedy club in America.
Have you not let me to the green room at Zany's?
Come on. You want someone semen? I'll get it tomorrow. That's what you want.
Listen, I'm not shy about leaving my semen places.
But that is the thing. Is like it always happens. Like with Michael Jackson or any storyline you want to pick with a very famous person, the fans will just go,
R. Kelly.
They're just trying to get rich.
R. Kelly's fans are still somehow being like, yeah, they're those bitches. I'm like, the what?
It couldn't be more obvious.
Are we not all looking at the same stuff? Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
they're just trying to get rich. They were 14.
There's no narrative here.
Yeah,
like it's like this is what happened.
They wanted to go to Build-A-Bear, and we fucked them. Like, what the shit? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can do
They
3
wanted
bears.
to go to Build-A-Bear, and he fucked them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I will say there's like a racial loyalty too in a lot of those situations where people will be like, "Oh, well, I don't want to. This is going to make the black community look bad." You're like, "No, there's some piece of trash black guys, and there's some good black guys. You don't get to just say they're all defend all of them because you look like them. That makes no sense."
The racial loyalty to Michael Jackson too was funny for me because that's a dude who didn't decide that he wanted to embrace being black
at all
until he needed to embrace being black.
Right.
And I mean, look at the way he decided to look and what he did to his face.
He went to like 12 noses just to look more white.
Yeah.
The skin thing. And they're like, he had a disease. Like, come on.
My thing is like Michael Jackson to me is the biggest example of deciding not to employ the facts and just going with what you want. Because look, if you had a neighbor who invited kids over and built an amusement park in his backyard just so kids would come over and their parents would drop them off.
With an alarm system in his bedroom that he had them sleep in. Also, he admitted to giving them wine and cuddling with them. So let's say he did none of the things he was accused of. I'm not a dad, but if I was a dad and my son is telling tales of molestation and he might be lying, this grown-up admitted to cuddling with 100%. My son after giving him wine. That's good enough for me to kill him. Yeah. I will kill you if you cuddle with my wine and give him, or cuddle with him and give him wine. That's enough for me.
To me, for people who have kids, people I know who have kids, and they still like, nah, we don't believe that happened. I'm
crazy.
like, but your neighbor down the street, if he did this, would you let your kid go over there? And they're like, hell no. I'm like, but because he's famous and sings good songs?
He's that talented.
By the way, if you're that talented that you can make people forget about child rape,
It happens all the
you're
time.
a good dancer.
But that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean?
That's how talent works.
Yeah.
That moonwalk, baby.
Yeah, I wish
That's a hell of a moonwalk.
man. I
Look
wish
at Chris Brown. Look at any of these guys. Like, if you're talented enough, people will turn a blind eye to whatever you're doing. And if you're rich enough, people will say, "Oh, she's just trying to get his money. He's just trying." So, like, let's just all get rich and famous because you'll forever have an out.
I don't know the comedians. I don't know. There's a joke good enough. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because think about what music does to people. You know how people react to some songs.
Sure. So different.
Yeah, listen, man. The reaction at a comedy show, if they love your joke, maybe you got them for 10 seconds.
But here's the thing. So I would have argued that Bill Cosby would have been able to wiggle himself out of anything with the fame and with the money and all that stuff. But then the crime was so horrific that your talent can't wiggle you out of that.
No. And you know what? It wasn't even, you know what? People had an image of Cliff Huxtable.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not of Bill Cosby.
Right.
Like when I think of him, I think of Cliff Huxtable. So that's America's,
also the whole
he was
no
America's
cursing.
dad at the time.
What do you think of when you hear the term clean comedian?
Boring.
Boring, clean, like corny. You think so? He's a clean comedian who was Cliff Huxtable. So you did think, he must be like a guy who, like, that's how this whole thing started. Is Hannibal Buress? He was like yelling at Hannibal for like saying like foul mouth, bad words, and Hannibal was like, "Yeah, say fuck. I didn't like rape anyone. It's all over the internet." And then it all started coming unglued.
You know what's interesting though? Have you ever tried? Because when I say boring, that's what I think of. I don't truly believe that, and I also believe if you are hysterical and 100% clean, it's hard. Like what Brian Regan does.
That's what I'm saying.
What Brian Regan does is harder, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't fall back on any of the crutches that we fall back
When
on.
also the differences are like I think the same thing when I think of clean comedian. However, I'm a clean comedian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still know that that's what people think. Like growing up in church, like we'd always have to do the exact same thing. Where you'd be like, "Oh, I go to Young Life," and they'd be like, "What's Young Life?" And you're like, "No, it's not like church, dude. We still talk about Jesus." And so it's this always defending something that you know, like you'd always have to be like, "No, but it's cool. Like a lot of us are having sex and stuff." Like it's like,
But there's a difference, right?
and that's the same thing with clean comedy.
Yes.
I have to be like I want to say that I'm clean so that old people will come to my show. Like when I do morning press, like, "Oh, what can we expect from your show?" I'm like, "Oh, I run a clean show," and then I almost have to immediately defend it. But I'm not like other clean
But dude,
comedians.
there's a difference between what you do.
Yeah.
Because there's still an edge to you.
Right.
So there's a difference between what you do and say
I just don't curse.
Bill Engvall.
Oh yeah.
Bill Engvall is a sleeping pill.
Cluyé.
Yeah. At least, yeah. But Engvall is like when you go to his show.
Yeah.
First of all, if you went to that show, you would obviously be somebody's grandson. Because that's who brought you.
Yeah, there's no reason for me to buy a Bill Engvall ticket.
No, that's what and to me, when I think of stereotypical clean comedy,
Right.
that's what I think of. Somebody who's trying to be a little naughty, maybe,
Right.
but it's just like, come on, man, like,
Yeah, it's brutal.
yeah, you still
Feels
have
dated.
yeah, and you have but you have an edge to you on stage, and you still have opinions, and all that shit. So,
Well, I think that like when I think of clean comedian, I think of the same things we're talking about. But like when I say clean, I just want them to know you're not going to hear any curse words.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about Trump, and I'm definitely not going to talk about like sex stuff.
yeah.
So that's really all that means to me.
You know what I tell people at all of my shows, and I do this at press too.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time. I go, hey, I hope nobody came here to learn anything tonight.
Yeah, no, I do that
It's
too.
like this is not that type of show.
Yeah.
Like
My special's called Dumb is Gooder.
Yeah,
That's the
I mean,
name.
that's it.
I'm here for the good times. We're supposed to have fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, they go, what can they expect from your show in the press? I say, you can expect zero politics, all fun.
Yeah.
If you're looking to learn something, go somewhere else.
Yeah, and also, who goes to comedians to learn stuff?
Yeah. Not like if you.
What are you thinking?
Yeah. Are you crazy? Do you have any idea why we started into comedy?
Yeah.
We're not well people. You know what I mean?
Well, we're definitely not educated.
No,
Like, but yeah.
there's no PhD comics
Dimitri
besides.
Martin is considered like the smartest comedian in comedy because he went to Harvard. He dropped out of Harvard.
Yeah.
He just got into Harvard. He didn't graduate.
Eisman was a doctor.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Matt Eisman was a doctor.
Oh, Matt Eisman. Yeah, but I've seen his comedy. It's not real
no,
smart.
no.
I love Matt.
Yeah, no, I agree agree with you.
I love Matt to death.
I agree with you.
If he hears this, you're not a smart guy.
He knows, Matt. You know, he's not out there.
I don't see
not
you
a
and go,
Dennis Miller
that's
set.
a smart guy.
Yeah. I don't walk out of his show being like, that was some smart jokes.
I love him to death,
Yeah.
but he's talking about dogs and stuff. He's like us.
Just like us.
He's us.
Just like us. I agree, man.
Wait, so how long have you been doing stand-up?
Well, the very first time I got on stage, I was 15 years old.
Oh, my God.
And my...
like Chappelle.
Is that right?
Yeah.
My parents drove me. I can tell you, I remember the first joke that came out of my mouth.
You must have crushed because you were 15.
Well, this was the first joke.
Okay.
All right. So my mom was in the front row, my mom and dad. And when I went and signed up, I asked the guy, I said, what should I talk about? And he said, talk about what you know.
It's a great start.
It's the best way. So they were in the front and they introduced me and I could hear, they had those old cameras, the zit, zit, click, zit, zit, click, right? So they were zit, zit, clicking the whole way up and they were right in the front. And I said, and by the way, let me just tell you what I was wearing.
Yes.
Okay. I was wearing some acid wash jeans. I had some thick, chunky, white high top sneakers.
That was good.
With the jeans tucked in, not tied, not loose, clunky. You know what I mean? I had a hat. I had a mullet at the time.
Nice.
I had a thick silver chain, my man.
I like that.
I had a black, those black belts, but with the silver tip at the top.
Yes.
Yeah. Had that tight, cinched up tight.
Nice.
And football jersey quality mesh white shirt.
Classic show business outfit. You knew you were gonna. Oh, I'm going on stage. I gotta wear my chain.
I gotta wear my mesh
shirt. This is insane.
So I go.
You were dressed like Primetime, but a white guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
I exactly was. So I go on stage, and they were right in the front, and my opening joke was, "Hey everybody, I'm Josh. I'm 15. I'm really nervous, but I'm happy to be here because this is the first fucking time I'll be able to fucking swear in front of my cocksucking mom." Right?
That's great.
It was it crushed.
Of course.
Because everybody was kind of nervous and everybody was looking at my mom.
Yeah.
And her face was just dead.
She's like, I didn't.
Yeah, just dead. She didn't take another picture, by the way. Not one more zit click. That was it.
But also did that cocksucking mom.
Yeah.
Did that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
Yeah.
Where is that photo? That first photo she took, does that exist?
Probably in one of her photo albums.
You gotta frame that.
Probably in one of her photo albums.
First time on stage, it became your career. And now
it was really crazy, man. It was really, the fourth time I was ever on stage, I opened for Sam Kinison.
Really?
I had won the third time I was ever on stage, I had won a comedy competition in San Antonio at a place called Hugo's. It was the name of Huey's was the name of the bar.
Third time on stage and he won a competition.
Let's put it into
when you're a young guy.
I was young.
The house is loaded.
The house is loaded with my college friends, and it was the crowd decided who won.
What age?
19.
Okay, that's different. I think that counts.
Yeah.
It doesn't count when you're 15. I think it doesn't count when you're 12. When you see someone like, oh, my daughter's doing stand-up now.
Yeah.
Oh, where you wrote all the jokes for her. And it's just like, crowd's laughing because it's an adorable kid. Yeah. And now the kid's saying something, It's like a one-armed person playing saxophone. You have to clap. You're like, I guess. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I mean, it wasn't very good, but they got one arm. So that's a good job.
Well, it's like Last Comic Standing, like season 4 of Last Comic Standing. Who's voting against Josh Blue?
No, I had to follow him.
Dude. And he's funny. So it's a double whammy. He's super good and he's handicapped. Well, let's just all fight for second place. Is that what we're doing?
He said to me the night before, because we were rooming together. He goes, man, I feel bad whoever has to follow 5 minutes of me. And we were laughing about it. I was like, no shit. He was like, nobody's ever seen me out here on this stage. 5 minutes of me is going to be. And I'm like, no, that poor move. And we looked on the list. Josh will follow. So you know what I did? I tried to do what comics do, which is poke fun of the person before you.
In front of you, yeah.
To kind of break the ice a little bit.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it works.
It didn't. Because I think what I said was great. I walked on stage, packed Pasadena Playhouse, and I think I walked on stage and said, great. I had to follow the prop comic. Because I thought I'd get a chuckle.
Yeah,
at least out of the judges,
Yeah. But they were like, but we liked him.
Yeah,
so why is he?
They loved him. He did 2 minutes of material in 5 minutes.
That's amazing. The laughs were just so
laughs
good.
and the applause was so crazy. And he said he was actively, when you're a young comic, to be able to cut time in real time out of your set.
Yeah.
I honestly was more impressed with that. When I talked to him afterwards, he was like, I was going through my set because, you have to have a certain amount of time in there.
Yeah, if you go over, it's a big deal on this.
So he was, as a young comic, actively, he knew his jokes well enough that he could pull the ones he knew the times. I was more as a comic.
Yeah, he's like scrapping tags and like
Way
getting
more
rid of
impressed
jokes
with
and go, let's
that.
just finish with this.
Yeah, dude, because I was like, how did you? And he was like, I just went through as they were clapping. I was going through in my head. I got to lose this. I got to lose this. But I know I still want to end on this. That
great.
was
Yeah, it's
amazing
great,
to
yeah.
me. Like just somebody who studies the craft. I was like, how are you doing that? And because I knew
It would be great if you went up there and you'd be like, man, give it up for Josh Wolf. You know he's not really handicapped, right?
yeah, what an act.
What a character. You all believed it,
Yeah, he
didn't
actually
you?
beat me in a one-on-one game of hoops
He's
earlier.
backstage.
He can dunk.
He's laughing at all.
He's doing a handstand back
That'd
there.
be amazing.
If he had done, dude, how funny would that have been if he had clapped and everyone had stood him up and he had done cartwheels off the
Oh,
stage?
yeah, and be like, "Peace." Y'all fell for that. And they're like, what? We really
Oldest
believe.
trick in the book.
You suckers.
I feel so dirty.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh my God, that would have been great.
Wait, so you've been doing it, well, I mean, how many years is that? When you were 15?
Well, you know,
Or you don't count that as when you started?
no, I don't. I guess figure I started in Seattle is where that's where I started to get on stage and just do it as much as I could.
We know all the
time.
same people.
Yeah.
Is what that means. Dwayne Goad.
Yeah.
Kermit Apio.
Yeah.
Kermit Holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Valenzuela.
Vince Valenzuela. Yeah.
I mean, I worked with
Rodney-
all these guys. Brad Upton.
Rodney Sherwood.
Ronnie Sherwood. I gotta do laundry. You know, like I'm trying.
Hey, everybody.
Rod Long.
Rod Long.
All these guys.
Now, let me ask you as a Seattle guy, because I'm
Yeah.
super curious. When you were coming up, as the comics there, who were the two people that you were like, or the few people where you were like, oh, because
They're gonna be huge.
Well, who
Then I
you
would think like, oh, they're
you
gonna be.
looked up to, like Kathy Sorbo was coming up when I was doing
Okay.
it, and at the time, Kathy Sorbo was like
Red hot.
If she had decided to leave Seattle, she
Which
could
is
have
the
been
story
massive.
of all the men I just said.
Yes.
So the story of all these men, and if they listen to this, I apologize, but it's truly how I feel. I looked up to all of them.
Agreed.
They were all very nice to me. They were all super funny. What if I was to assess them all of why aren't they household names? Why aren't they on Comedy Central? Why? Because they were super, super funny. They got heat, like local heat, like in Seattle where like everyone's talking about them. They're the funniest comedians. Oh, you got to go to Underground. You got to go to Giggles. There's this guy, Dwayne Goad. There's this guy, Brad Upton, blah, blah, blah. And what happened is then they got a girl probably out of their league from any woman they've ever had in their life before because of this heat, because
Talking to
they're
you, Dwayne?
funny, because of all of them.
I'm just kidding.
Vince Valenzuela, everyone I just named.
Yeah.
Kermit Apio, Kermit
Yep.
Holiday, they all got a woman way out of their league
Yep.
for regular society. And then now moving to LA to chase a dream is a much harder when you have a wife and someone who wants to have kids and someone who wants to like settle down and they have their own goals and
Yeah.
they have their own dreams and aspirations. So it becomes so much more difficult that they just never make the move. And then eventually Seattle's seen you. And there's new guys, that like people are talking about. Oh, have you seen the Josh Wolf, the Drew Barth, the Andy Peters, the Owen Smith, all these different, or Owen Straw, I guess. There's all these different names coming up. So now you kind of become this guy that's like, oh,
Yes.
these fucking young bucks. I mean, that happens in Boston comedy scene.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's what I think happened with all of them.
I agree.
And every one of those guys at some point sat me down and was like, hey, listen. Love is great. I love my wife to death and blah, blah, blah. But if you can do this by yourself, like if you can find a way to not fall in love and not get married, like you got something here. Take it to LA. Chase your dream.
100%. You know who we didn't add in there? And I don't know if he was around when you were around. What was his name? Joe
Vespasiani,
Yo, one of the best joke
funniest
writers.
guys ever. Yeah.
And when I first got down here, when I was writing scripts and selling TV shows and shit, I would send them up to him and be like, "Do you got any jokes for this?"
Yeah. He's
Great joke
hilarious guy.
But they also would fall into the trap, like Chris Alpine. I remember the first time I saw Chris, I was like, okay, he crushed.
Mhm.
And then a year later, I saw him do the same set. And a year later, I saw him do the same set.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is why he's here. And some guys, Rodney did come down here
Oh, really?
for a couple years, but this is not a place, no matter how big you are anywhere else, unless that place is New York.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a place where you'll come and you won't have to start over. You have to
Yeah,
start
I know.
over.
Yeah, I think that's why they like Seattle.
Yeah.
And Tracy Tufts, Tana Manu, Yoshi, all those guys.
Tano started, so it was me, Joey Diaz, Brody, Tana, a guy named Mark Gardner.
Joey Diaz was in Seattle.
Me, Brody, and Joey used to hit that open mic together all the time.
That is phenomenal. Did
So
not
Joey
know
lived at my house.
Wow.
Yeah, Joey lived
didn't
in my
know that.
house. I employed him at my restaurant.
I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna like go to a spiral of like looking at Joey Diaz like up in Seattle because I wonder if we've crossed paths or if there was ever a.
Well, I'm not sure legally if he's allowed back in Seattle.
Really?
There may still be a warrant. I know
Really?
he can't go to Canada.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very on brand for Joey
Yeah,
Diaz.
I think so. But we used to all go down there. Tana was
Crush.
the funniest out of all of us.
One of the crushes guys. Yeah, he would crush.
Not
Crush.
even close. I don't know that I ever even saw him bomb. Can I tell you one of the first jokes I heard him tell? And he could write before any of us.
He's so funny. A really naturally funny guy. And the women loved him.
Loved him.
He would do things when you would hear a story about Tana Manu, he'd be like, yeah, like we were all in here and he was making everyone laugh. And then he pulled out his penis
Biggest
and
dick
he
ever.
was like showing everyone this like goof that he would do with his dick. And the girls were so impressed with him, charmed by him,
Yeah.
laughing, and impressed with the size of his dick that they would just go home with him.
Yeah.
It wasn't seen as a Me Too moment, which it should have. You can't just pull out your penis at a comedy club, but he did. He would
You
do
can
and
when it looks like
worked,
that.
and it worked.
Yeah. It was like bringing out a dozen roses. It had the same, you know what I mean? It was like the same effect. I was like, so that works? Oh, okay. I don't think it would work with mine. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was, the first joke I remember him talking about, and he would talk about anything. And he was so likable on stage, and I would say the same thing about Joey Diaz.
Okay.
I'm always enamored with comics who are so charming and so true to themselves that it's not offensive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Joey's doing that right now.
Right? He's so authentically himself.
Yeah, he's disagreeing with some social movements that you're not even allowed to say you disagree with on podcasts, let alone on stage. At like the improv.
Yeah.
He's like doing, and Joey, I love you, so, this isn't shit talk. There are some homophobic jokes in your act.
He's
that
not-
I'm sure but he gets away with it because they're like, I like him.
Yeah. And you know what he would tell you?
That's his perspective.
Yeah. You know what he would tell you also? And truthfully, I've known him obviously for longer than I know my kids.
Yeah.
There isn't a bone of hate in his body.
Right.
There isn't I don't like him because he's gay.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
like
he
him
loves
because
everyone. Yeah.
But he would tell you right now, hey, look, I grew up I talked this way for 40 years.
Right.
You don't get to take it back.
Exactly.
That's his
the thing.
point.
And I don't think that he has any malice
He
towards anyone,
doesn't.
but he's getting away with a sentence that is very latently homophobic.
You and I couldn't do it.
Right.
But-
and it was like watching magic. I was like, how? And I looked at a table of two gay kids that were they're
Yeah.
holding hands and they're their little twinks
And they're
laughing. They're like, ah.
He's so authentic.
Yeah.
There's something, and
I
also
think the age helps.
age helps. 15 years, he would have been more threatening.
Yeah.
Now he's just this kooky old uncle dude who
Yeah,
can.
he's your grandpa who says some stuff, but he doesn't mean it, or that his heart is in the right place.
Heart is in the right place.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And so I love watching guys like that. And
What was this Tana's joke that you wanted to do?
Tana was okay. So this is one of
I
the
love
first jokes
Got all excited.
I ever heard him tell. And this dude is a great joke. So he would do a joke. He was like, I was shopping with, let's just use West Hollywood for an example.
Okay.
But it was Capitol Hill because
Yeah,
it's where
which
they,
is the gay area.
Yeah.
That's the West Hollywood of Seattle.
So he was like, I was shopping with my friend up in Capitol Hill, and it's a gay area up there. So we were at shopping, and we just got a bunch of stuff together. But then I opened the door for him to go outside, and then I pushed his cart for him, and when we got to the car, I put his groceries in the car for him and stuff, and it was nice. And then he turned to me and he said, "Hey man, why are you being so nice to me?" And Tana said, "Well, this is Capitol Hill. Everybody thinks we're gay." And my friend was like, "Yeah, so?" And he goes, "So? I'm not the bitch." Right? Great joke.
That's phenomenal.
This is 1 month into his stand-up.
Yeah, if everyone thinks we're gay, I'm gonna be the man in the band.
Yo,
So good.
a month in, can you imagine
That's
writing
phenomenal.
that out?
Yeah.
And I remember watching him like, how long has he been doing stand-up?
Yeah, that's great.
I'm telling fart jokes. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, you're where we should be when we start. Yeah, exactly.
He from the first time I saw him on stage, he knew, this is the best way I can put it, he knew who he was. How long did it take you to know?
A while.
Right?
A long time.
It takes
yeah.
you a little bit.
It took me a long time to be who I am off stage, on stage. If that
Yes,
makes sense.
makes complete sense.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of guys like that never find their voice and never find who they are. You know who I would put in the same camp of what you just said? I saw Michael Rappaport at the Comedy Store. He was on the same lineup. And I was like, this will be interesting because I love Michael Rappaport.
I've never seen him do stand-up.
Yeah, he's only done it a few times.
Yeah.
He's just now starting to get into it. And he was like, I don't know if nervous is the right word, but he's backstage. I think he was trying to do that thing where he's like, I don't want comedians to think that I'm coming on their turf, so I'm going to play it real humble. Because he's like, hey, you know, I'm not a stand-up. And I was like, dude, you're hilarious online. I'm sure it's going to go great. I was very curious if that was true. If it was.
Was it?
He crushed. And he crushed because he already knows his vernacular. He already knows who he is. He already knows what he's going to talk about. He already knows, he pretty much does it every day on TV when he's like doing the rants and the stuff. Like he knows who Michael Rappaport is.
Not only does he know who he is,
The crowd does.
Yes.
Yeah, and
that
also
is a huge
he's
thing.
a performer.
Yeah.
So he's like a phenomenal actor. He does these like rants on Instagram that are so funny.
So good.
So I was like, this comedy is going to be the easiest transition for that guy I've ever seen. And he crushed from top to bottom.
You know, I used to think I was going to have a problem with these guys who start comedy on third base.
Yeah.
I really used to think I have
flare-ups of judgment from time to time, just not about Michael Rappaport. But like when I see like a Michael Yo, like on Chelsea Handler be like, oh, comedy's easy. And you're like, please don't tell people comedy is easy.
I know.
And then he goes and he sells out the whole thing. And it was easy for him because it's a loaded audience, just like you were talking about with like comedy competition back in the day. And he's like, see, I told you comedy's easy. Yeah, because Kourtney Kardashian showed up and the whole place sold out. And it really got under my skin. He's on third base. He started on third base.
And that kind of stuff used to bother me, not just about comics, but when I would see people in general start on third base, because I know I didn't.
Yeah.
And I know how hard I worked, and I'm sure you've worked.
Yeah, to get there.
But then I decided as I've gotten older, I'm like, that's my issue.
Right.
Like I hear what you're saying, but guys like Michael and even Brendan Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
Rappaport. For me, I don't care where you start. Are you putting the work in? If you're putting the work in, because I know Brendan puts the work in. Michael Yo, whether you like his comedy or not, he's putting the work in. And that's all I can do is I respect.
We found a different ladder to judge is all that's happening.
Yes.
Here. Because there are plenty of people who are starting on third base who haven't put the work in, and that's, whatever.
Yeah, but
that's why you feel these moments. I have to just get rid of all of it, to be honest. Like I try to just go, it's not helping me
at all
to obsess about how this person got that. But there is weekly moments where I go, oh, he got a special, and I roll my eyes and I turn off my Instagram for the next 3 hours because I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening.
Listen, man, every time
that happens to me a lot.
Yeah, and every time someone told me that Chris Kattan sold out the weekend, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try not to eat a bullet. But whatever, you know what I mean?
Amanda Seales is like HBO. I couldn't believe it.
I've never seen her stand up.
Right.
Super. I know. Oh yeah, I know her.
That's my point.
I like her a lot. I've never seen her stand up though. Yeah.
There was some situation that happened at Montreal where this YouTuber was on the diversity showcase, and I could have told you he was going to bomb from the second they booked him. It's a diversity showcase, and his name is like Southern Mama or something like that. And he's a YouTube guy, and also not a stand-up comedian.
No.
So shame on Just for Laughs for even putting this kid in the showcase. But what is Just for Laughs trying to do? They're trying to get numbers. And this guy has millions of YouTube followers and all this different stuff. So it's Just for Laughs trying to exploit his celebrity. And him accepting it because he has no idea what he's getting into. But I smelled disaster from the beginning. Now, is this guy socially known as kind of a douchebag? Yes. Is this guy going to bomb horrifically? Yes. All those things are true. But shame on Just for Laughs for giving a spot to a guy who isn't even a stand-up comedian where someone else could have done really good. Also, he's only he's the only person that represented white guys on that diversity showcase. So now it looks like brilliant, young, what's the term? Like diverse lineup of people. And then one white guy who's like a racist idiot who doesn't know how to do stand-up. And you're like, that's who represented the white guys on the diversity showcase?
Is that us?
Totally fit the narrative of what they wanted. So while he's bombing and people are booing and he's starting to spiral like, oh, blah, 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 and like starts being racist, idiot, Amanda Seales and another comedian are on their phones like, yeah, white boy, you're welcome to stand-up comedy. You ain't a comedian. And I remember being like, You're saying he's not Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
Amanda. You're the one leading the charge on who is and isn't comedians.
Listen, I think people
I couldn't believe it.
There's no doubt that people need to tamp that down a little bit.
Ugh.
And there are a lot of people. Comedy is difficult.
It's tricky.
Comedy is difficult. And can you think of the first time you thought, oh, I kind of got this, and now think about the material you were doing then. When you think about it now, you're like, oh no, I didn't have
awful.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all.
Because it was the first time I was getting laughs. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it must be good.
Yeah, I got
Kids
this.
It's getting laughs.
I will now. My comedy journey, man, has been really interesting. In the last 2 or 3 years, there's no doubt I'm better than I've ever been. But one of the reasons I'm better than I've ever been is I've let go of a lot of shit a lot of why not me shit. Like, I've never been invited to do a festival.
Really?
I've never done a festival.
Really?
Never been invited to do a festival. I've never done a late night set. There's a ton of things that people, and that stuff used to eat me up.
Right. You'd see like a photo of all them at the festival and you're like, why am I not?
Why? How am I not? I can't crack that.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is going on? And as soon as I let go of it, my comedy got better.
Absolutely.
It was a weird thing.
Well, it's liberating to free yourself from those like inevitable, like there's nothing you could do about it anyways.
Well, you know what it basically came down to is I've never been one of the cool kids. My comedy jives more with the middle of the country.
Okay.
And festivals are cool. And a lot of the cool kids, you know what I mean? Like,
you may be right. Yeah.
And so that's not really, I just don't think people who book them feel like that. But you put me in Iowa.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's just more my vibe of a situation. This town is my hardest place.
Which is fascinating that I've seen you crush at the Improv like a million times, though. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. But I see what you're saying. In school, there was a very finite circle of cool kids at my school. And they were wealthy. They were good looking and they were the elite, but they weren't the majority. Now I won everything: homecoming king, prom king, class clown. I won most likely to be a millionaire. Like I won all those things, not because I was the cool, because the rest of the school was like, that's our guy. Yeah. And I remember putting that together at a very kind of young age of junior high. Like, I'm just gonna be nice to everyone.
Yep.
I'm not gonna be mean to any of everyone will be my people. And if those cool kids want me to, I'll be with them too. But the truth is that they're probably not gonna let me in. I'll just get the rest.
Yeah.
And it worked. And that's sort of what you kind of just explained with comedy. It's you don't need to be at the festival.
No.
You're selling out Nebraska and enjoying every second of it.
And I honestly have more to talk about with those people.
Sure.
Absolutely. I just do. When the people who come to my shows talk to me about their kids or their job, I relate to all of that. Right. It's stuff that I relate to. If you're going to come and talk to me about a social movement, I may have my own opinions, but it's not something that I'm comfortable about talking with strangers out in the lobby of a comedy club.
We might have talked about this on this podcast, 20 weeks ago, whatever, when I just got back from Just for Laughs. About
you rubbing that in? Is that a slow flex?
No, but it's the same thing. I talked about this exact subject when I had just gotten back from Montreal, of this feeling of high school not fitting in. I remember being at Just for Laughs, I get it. I'm at Just for Laughs.
Yeah.
But I had this overwhelming sense of there would be high moments of dude, we're doing it. All the people are here and I feel in. And then you see two comics wander off and it's like watching the cool kids go into the woods to smoke weed. And you're like, but why didn't they invite me to the thing? And they're like, oh, hey man, sorry, we're going to go see Chappelle and John Mayer do this perform. And this sense of feeling left out and this but I need to, I thought I was a part of this. I'm here. So there was these moments of just chemical imbalance and bipolarness of am I in? Am I not in?
Yeah.
I wonder if every comic is just feeling that at these festivals.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you.
So even when they get there, they still don't feel.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason my comedy changed is because I stopped trying to write jokes that I thought other comics would at least think were funny.
Interesting.
I was so worried for so long because not being one of the cool kids and never being when comics book shows in town, you don't see me on those lineups.
Right.
Because, and this is not a knock and this is not a woe is me. I'm very confident with who I am and what I do. I'm not a comics comic. I'm not somebody that other comics think are super
that's
funny.
great.
That's fine by me. I think I tell stories.
You know who
long-form
wishes they
stories.
weren't a comics comic? Comics comics.
Yeah, somebody who could sell out a club.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can go.
Andy Kindler probably loves being Andy Kindler, but there's moments where Andy Kindler must go, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
This is a brilliant bit, and only the nerds in the back
Yeah.
who want to be my friends
Yeah.
are laughing. I don't think when he wrote that bit, he was doing it for the back of the room.
No.
He has a thing in his brain that goes, why aren't people identifying
Yeah.
with this? This
Yeah.
is a very funny bit. I need
Yeah.
the validation. I agree 1,000% with what you're saying.
It's such an interesting thing. No matter what side you're on, you want everybody to like you. And as soon as you realize not only is that not attainable, that would not be great.
I'll tell you why I'm fascinated with your comedy. I love watching you. Every time I'm on the same thing as you, I like to peek out and watch because you remind me of a guy I would want a reality show. Like I would want to, like if they gave you a TV show where we just followed your home life and your road life and things like that, I would watch. I would want that. I don't think I'd watch it because I don't watch those kind of things.
Yeah.
But when I see your stand up, I go, oh, I wonder if he's going to talk about his son. He's got this cool son that's very funny, and all your bits about your son are home
thank
runs.
you.
And then I met your wife. She's very beautiful and interesting and cool. And so it's like, oh, I want to hear about that. What's the dynamic there? And how's that? You're a handsome guy. I imagine there's, temptations and now, but I want to know everything about what makes Josh Wolf's life happen.
That's very cool, man.
So when I'm watching it because I have this kind of teenage girl to the Kardashians, like I want to know about this. It's easy to be an island and just live in my fortress here, and I play video games and I do whatever I want. But I want to know what it's like to be Josh Wolf with the cool son and the wife and all
that's
those
very
things.
cool,
So
man.
that's why
Thank
I'm
you.
fascinated to your comedy.
That's interesting. And that may be why that it's relatable to a bunch of the people who come to my shows.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're like, oh yeah, I know that. I know I have a son like that, or I'm kind of like that at my
Right.
house. And that may be why
It's super interesting.
I hadn't thought of that. It took me a long time to get comfortable with long form story
Interesting.
because then
Which you're doing a lot of that right now.
I do most of that.
Yeah.
When I do a set, if I do an hour, that hour consists of 3 stories.
That's amazing.
And so, but with those 3 stories, what you have to get comfortable with is silence.
Of course, yeah.
What I learned as I started telling the stories is stories that are just punchlines aren't sustainable because nobody cares.
Sure.
Why am I listening to 20 minutes when you haven't really told me a beginning, a middle, and an end? So if you're going to have a beginning, a middle, and end, you're going to have setup.
Yep.
And you have to get people invested in the story for them to laugh at the payoff.
Sure.
And so
Two things on that real quick, just
Yeah.
before we finish. Stephen Wright and Mitch Hedberg both had the same problem. Stephen Wright's still alive, but when they were performing, they had the same problem of they're very one-liner guys. So it'd be set up, punch, tag, next subject. That was the whole subject, was just that joke. And they would jump, and they're almost everybody's favorite comics. Everybody references Mitch Hedberg
Yeah.
or Stephen Wright's or even the Dimitri Martins. But their problem in their career was after 30 minutes, people are going, okay, we want to know about you.
Mitch was
Teach
one of the
us
guys.
about you.
Yeah.
Tell us about you.
Something.
I get it. You want to talk about escalators and bananas, but guess what? We want to know about Mitch.
Yeah.
And so people were dying to know who Mitch Hedberg was, but he didn't give them that. And so people would tune out after, and there's many stories of him in Minneapolis and Seattle, all bombing on the last 15 because he just is losing them. He's losing them a little bit
Mitch was in Seattle when I started.
during the late great Mitch.
Yeah. And he was there with a guy he used to run with a guy named Chard Hogan. But I remember watching Mitch in the open mic 5 minutes, and I was like, this is the funniest guy in the world. Then I watched him do 15 minutes. I'm like, this is the funniest guy in the world. And then I watched him do a headlining set, and I was like, I'd like that 15-minute set.
Yeah.
Because it just got
It's all fastballs.
Yeah.
It's like watching your reliever try to start a game and you're like, he's the great. Nobody's ever beat this guy when he comes in and closes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's not a starter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera's going to get shelled by inning 5.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
all out of gas.
Like 100%. And so it was interesting. And he said something really interesting to me that I had never thought of before, but I think of more now. He told me once that he was, man, Josh, I'm a 15%er. And I go, what does that mean? He goes, man, when I get on stage in front of a group of people who don't know me, 15% like me. He said, now I just got to get all 15% in the same room together. But that was his thing.
Yeah.
Like he was like, most people I know are not going to like this.
Right.
Now I just need to figure out, because there are people who
You
like
find
it.
your demo. Yeah.
Need
You
to
find
find
who
those
like,
people.
yeah, who likes you. Yeah.
It was really, you know.
That's why I always bomb at Mo Better Mondays.
Yeah.
I'm doing me.
Yeah.
And they're like, but we don't like
I'm
you.
like a 2%er in this room.
We don't like you.
Not,
The other thing I was going to say.
not hitting the home runs on
Not
Chocolate
the home
Sunday.
runs. Yeah, never crushing it. The other thing I was going to say is you said there's got to be setups and pauses and silence.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby used to always talk about that. He's like, if you can get them giggling and listening for more when you're not talking.
Uh-huh.
I just watched a female comedian. I won't say her name because I love her to death, but she was saying a lot of funny jokes. Very funny jokes. She got 0 laughs. The entire set, 0 laughs. She gets off stage, she's like, oh, like she was all rattled and frazzled and she had bombed. Everything she said was funny. The audience just didn't know when they were supposed to laugh because she was rambling. It was like motor mouth. She just go, and so the crowd's sitting there going, no. You've got to let them know when to laugh.
Yeah.
The pauses tell the crowd, oh, here's where we.
Yes.
And if you just ramble over that and you walk over it, yeah, you're gonna bomb, stupid. That's how that works.
You're telling them that the joke isn't over.
Right.
Yeah.
That they're laughing at the wrong spot.
Right. It was so weird to
That's
watch her.
interesting.
And I was like, just fucking break it up. I didn't tell that to her, but I didn't want to acknowledge that she bombed. It's like, you did fine. Oh, that was funny. It's too passive. I didn't want to be like, wow, that was rough. And you know why? Like, I'm not, especially with the way the dynamic of men and women nowadays, I didn't want to be like, oh, I'll help.
Let me mansplain this to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a bad.
And I
I
could've.
don't enjoy that whatever mansplain. I don't enjoy
term.
that term.
Yeah.
At all.
What does it mean?
The term mansplain means that if you are a man and you explain something to a woman, they don't need you to mansplain it to them.
Wow.
But
What
have you heard that term?
stupid
Yeah.
term.
Yeah, because for me, I'm like, yeah, but I'm not explaining it to you because you're a woman and I'm a man. I'm explaining it to you because you misunderstood.
Right.
So I'm just
I
clearing
call
it up.
it
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, I'm just.
Wouldn't you like a male's perspective? In the same way, like, oh, don't woman-splain it to me.
I have a
Is
question.
that a thing?
I have a question for you
Okay.
that I've always wanted to ask you. When you get on stage,
Yes.
okay, I don't know how to ask this. Do dudes not like you? If the woman brings her, because my biggest thing after Chelsea especially was winning. And this sounds weird because I consider my humor to be geared towards dudes.
Yeah.
My biggest hill has been winning over men, and I
Yeah.
never thought that would be a problem.
I find myself pandering to men more often than I'd like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for that reason.
Yeah, exactly for that reason. We've picked the only business that's harder the better looking you are. If I'm a salesman, or if I'm an attorney, if I'm a
Gigolo.
politician, if I'm anything, it helps to be good looking.
Yeah.
It helps. Life is a little easier if you're easier on the eyes. I am in no way saying I'm a victim because I look the way I look. However, I've chosen the only profession. We've chosen the only profession where you start in a hole if you look good.
By the way, men and women.
Yeah.
I remember Chelsea saying
no,
to
just
me,
being good looking.
Yeah. Chelsea said to me, this was interesting when she first started. She got off stage. We used to run together at the Improv.
Chelsea
Handler.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and she said to me straight up, I was like, there were a couple jokes that I thought those jokes were going to be a little better. And she said right out loud, she goes, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but these tits are going to be a problem. And I said, why? She said, because she used to wear these tight t-shirts on stage. She was like, I could see dudes looking at my tits. I could see women who are with those dudes
upset
at me. And all of a sudden, one person's not listening to me and the other person hates me.
Yeah.
And I'm in a hole. I was like, holy shit, is that real? And she was like, it's 100%.
real. You must know it's real too. I mean, just because you've lived it. But there is a whole wave of female comedians that are coming out now, like the Rachel O'Briens, I'm trying to think who the other girls are. Natasha Pearl Hansen. Yeah, Kate Quigley. It's like when
they're embracing it though.
Suggest, hey, wear different clothing on stage. I'm not being an animal. I'm not being I'm not judging them.
Not mansplaining.
I'm simply suggesting nobody's ever associated that look with funny. I wear hoodies on stage for a reason. I wear beanies. I grow my hair like long because I want to. I just need them to not say like, "Fuck this guy. This is a model." What problems does he have?
Yeah.
How are we going to listen to this guy if he like? It must be hard having sex every night. That's what they think.
Yes.
I'm not, but like that's the Fry Festival documentary. Did you see this?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think it's great. It was a fascinating documentary and it was
Amazing.
so interesting. But the problem that I have is society's take of like, well, fuck these rich people. No, they're victims. They were sold really expensive tickets to what was supposed to be like the best weekend of their life.
Yeah.
And also they're like, yeah, but if you spend 40 grand on a festival to go to like watch Blink 182 on an island, bro, they're advertising all these bands, private planes, yachts, villas. Those cost money, a lot of money. So you'd say, I want to be at the first one. I've got this extra. Why are we shaming them just because they're wealthy kids?
I agree with you. It's kind of crazy.
And that's what people do when we get on stage. They say, I want a fat guy with a beard who's going to bitch about how nobody wants to have sex with them. That's what people want to laugh at.
non-threatening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to look at me and go, now I'm this guy.
They don't want to hear about your problems.
Right.
So you're a single, handsome, not rich, but doing fine dude. And you're going to complain to me
I'm rich
about...
to them.
Right.
Yeah,
right. So you're going to complain to me about what?
Right.
And so,
which is a big problem with society.
Yeah. Stanhope had a great joke that I heard him do once where basically the idea of the joke is you can't complain. You can't compare sucks.
Right.
What sucks in your life sucks in your life. What sucks in his life,
I say this all the time.
Sucks in his life.
Yeah.
So it's like when people go like, "It's cold here." Well, it's not -50, but it's still fucking cold
we can still
here.
see our breath.
You motherfucker!
I have a bit about that too.
God, it kills me.
I wonder if I got that idea. I wonder if I got that idea from Doug because like sometimes people will be like, white, what's that term? It's like on Twitter, like white people problems or whatever like that. They'll make it sound like you don't have a problem because it's not as bad as someone else's. But here's the thing. If I punch you in the face and you're like, oh my God, I'm bleeding, you punch me in the face, I can't be like, well, at least you didn't die or get raped.
Yeah, like somebody can't be like, well, you didn't get punched by Mike Tyson. No,
Yeah.
but he wasn't here.
Jeff
was here.
It still sucks.
Yeah, still, my nose hurts a lot. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
We're allowed to all have problems.
We're allowed to all have sucks in our... Because it's perspective.
Yeah.
In that person's life, that's the worst thing that could happen in their life. No,
Right.
I do not live in Africa in a hut.
Right.
Yes, would that be worse? Yes.
Sure.
But that has never been my reality. So why do I have to force myself into that reality?
When also sometimes you're just making a joke. You weren't even that really complaining.
Yeah.
I wrote a thing about a thing to make you happy.
Yeah.
That's hardly me complaining. I actually picked a thing that I'm dealing with and turned it into art to make you have a good night.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, his problem. I was like, no. This is
Jokes.
Ugh,
It's
crazy.
It's a comedy show. It's a comedy show. Lately, and this has been really curious to me. Lately, a lot of people, as more people, I've had a crazy resurgence in my career in the last 6 months.
It's great.
I had some videos really pop online. I had something hit like 55 million views.
What were the videos of stand up or
stand up?
Oh, nice. What was the subjects that got the big hits?
The first one was about my best practical joke ever.
Okay.
And it was this story about how my buddy asked me to throw him a bachelor party, and I was like, "You're picking the wrong guy, but I'll for sure do it for you," because I don't take anything seriously.
Right.
And I don't love strippers, so I wasn't getting him a stripper,
Right.
because that's not what I like.
Yeah, it's kind of
I thought let's make it funny.
Right.
So I hired this woman who was 6 foot, and turns out, look on the advertisement it said 6 foot 250, and her whole advertisement just said, "I'll wrestle you," and I was like, "Oh yeah,
we're doing that.
yeah, you're hired."
Yeah.
So, but she showed up. She was 6 foot. She was deep into the threes.
Okay.
Oh.
But that's
And-
better for you.
Way better.
Yeah,
And
what are you talking about? That's a bonus.
And she got naked and just beat the shit out of this dude for the ride.
Oh, I love it.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
And it hit in a way that it's so humbling. It really is so kind of crazy, but it hit in a way that turned people on to and I had just I had shot because I couldn't get anyone to buy my special.
Right.
So I shot and did it myself. That's another thing. Add that to the festivals, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this shit
Do it
myself.
yourself. Yeah.
Put it on YouTube. I cut it up, and it's just been bananas.
That's great.
But in all the ones that people have been really responding to is interesting what you said to all about the stories about my son.
Yeah. That's why I met your son. He's incredible. He's such a
good
sweet kid. It's a testament to how good of a dad you are. But also you let him be himself, which I noticed. I was watching that very closely. It wasn't a dynamic, like there's the respect is there. The father-son dynamic is there. But there's no hey, we don't do that, or oh hey, you're being too silly. It's just you're letting him be him, which is the best. I always say that, like, I've only had dogs, and sometimes people think the best dogs are the most obedient dogs. But why is that the best dog? Because he does what you say. Because he sits when you tell him to sit. Why is that the best dog?
I agree.
The best dog is the happiest dog. A dog who is loyal. A dog is there's other principles. Not just he stands by my side. When I stop, he stops. That you're a dictator.
Yeah.
That's not fatherhood. That's not dog owning. So when I watched you with him, I took a real close peek at that, and he felt free to be himself.
And I appreciate that, man. The true, and this is going to sound whatever cliche, but the true privilege of my life was raising my kids.
Yeah.
It was such a, and you know what else? As I've gotten older and as I parented and I was a single dad for a while, I also let go of the idea of the term bad parent. I truly believe that most parents, they just do the best they can do.
Exactly.
Now, it may not be up to whatever the norms are, and it may not be that great, but bad parent to me implies on purpose.
Right.
You're neglecting on purpose. And I would say the majority of people are just do the best they can.
Yeah, and I hate to disagree with you, but I disagree completely.
Do you really?
100%.
You think people are bad on purpose?
I don't think they're bad on purpose, but you're giving them there's a big space in between. There's a big space in between being negligent and violent or inappropriate on purpose and doing our best. Doing our best. What a statement. Like,
yeah. No, I hear you.
Are they?
But what I mean
is, are you
is,
doing your best?
What if you're just like not? What if you're not a responsible person? What if you never should have had kids? What if you are just a narcissistic person and that's just who you are, and you just do the best you can do, and it's shitty, but it's the best you can do? I think most people aren't
doing their best. That's what I think. I think if they were doing their best, they'd be. Because here's the thing: is like I think a good parent is just someone who's present.
That's true.
It's not hard to be a parent. It love. Or it is hard to be a parent, it's not complicated. It just love is all a kid wants. You can be poor, you could be rich, but if your kid knows, like, dude, my dad's got my back. My dad loves me. I know I can go talk to my dad. All of those things that I just named are free. You don't have to be rich.
But some people don't have that in them.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that, and they shouldn't have had kids.
Yeah, shouldn't have had kids.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, but you can't change that, so it just makes them whatever. But it also just forever makes the kid feel weird and forever makes the kid feel all these things. And so the dads think, well, maybe I'll buy him an Xbox, or maybe I'll take the family to California for the weekend and just ignore my family as usual. But they can't get mad because I took them to California.
Yeah.
Like, no, love is the answer to all of that kind of like tricky thing.
My dad, he didn't really start saying I love you until after his dad died. It's just his generation. That's not how it was,
Yeah.
But the one thing when I look back, because when I was growing up, I had an interesting relationship with my dad where I don't want to say that I hated him, but I was like, this dude never shows anything.
Right.
And he's stoic. And when he does talk and he's mad, that's the only time I really hear him with emotion, is anger. Right. And I was like, fuck this guy. But when I look back, you know what he was? Always there. Every game. He coached every.
Really? That's interesting.
That was his way of showing me, because he wasn't good at the hug. He wasn't good at the I love you. He wasn't good at, if you were crying, the consoling you.
Sure.
You know what his way of, he was there.
He was there.
He coached every team I was ever on.
He was the Cal Ripken.
Yeah. He showed up to every game. Right.
Like, I'm not hitting home runs every game. I'm not hitting a lot of home runs.
No, but I'm going to be here.
But I've been at every game.
Yeah, I've been at every, I've seen every, and that was it for me. And that really stuck with me as a dad. When my kids were starting to get older, I was like, I remember
Which is tough to do with what you do.
Really tough.
Because you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Like that's like being a wrestler. That's like being a musician. We're traveling all the time. So it's even more of a testament that you were there. That's hard.
I'm just noticing that you're a bit of a wrestling fan. You know, we had
biggest.
Charlotte Flair on our podcast.
Oh, really? I know Charlotte pretty good.
The nicest woman.
She's great.
She was the nicest woman. But like, she talk about a weird upbringing to have Ric Flair as your dad.
Never around.
I mean,
talk about never around.
I mean, talk right.
But also, like we had Brooke Hogan on here, and so she talked about Hulk Hogan being her dad, and I asked, I wanted to get into it. I'm very fascinated with like parent-kid dynamics, and she was just like, oh well, I had the luxury of my dad being the most famous and the most wealthy and well treated out of all the wrestlers. He was always home. He would just fly back, and he was the best dad in the world, and he loved us, and he was always around. I was not expecting to hear that. I've never heard of a wrestling
Why did the son turn out so fucked up?
Well, no, but he's a great. We met him. He's a sweetheart.
Wasn't he fucked up? Didn't he end up in jail or something?
He had a DUI and he lost a friend and stuff like that. But like for the most part, Hulk was a great dad. I was not expecting to hear that. I was expecting to be like, oh, he was never around. And finally, when he got older and retired, we saw him or whatever. But no, he was the best dad ever. Where Rick
not as much
didn't want to be a dad, and he loved the road.
Yeah.
He liked many mommies. You know. But that's just the difference between those two. But yeah, Charlotte's she's Ashley, right?
Yeah, I will tell you, she her work ethic, when she talked about the way she trained and all that, I was blown away.
Yeah.
And she's like this generation she's an athlete.
Absolutely.
She's
the most athletic out of all the girls.
She's an athlete. So the reason people are like, well, why are the women getting so much? Because they're athletes now.
And also, we talked about this on here and in our regular lives all the time. The women's matches used to be the time that we would go to the bathroom or we would whatever, because wrestling was even objectifying the women. It was all about their boobs and it was all about evening gown matches. And so wrestling fans were sort of in a way telling Vince McMahon, we don't like this. Like we didn't give a shit at all. And then slowly the women started just doing what the dudes do. Like Bex and Charlotte had like a tables, ladders, and chairs match where they were going through like doing all this different stuff. And it was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. And did wrestling fans go, well, they're girls? No, because you know what we care about? We're marks for the table smashing. We're marks for the ladder.
Yeah.
We don't care if it's a dude or a girl doing it. We just love those things of wrestling. So they found a way to give us 2 Royal Rumbles, 2 main event, like by letting the women just be like the guys. Like let them do what the guys do. And then now there's an added element of like some of them are hot and we get to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm already body shaming the dudes. I don't like body shaming the ladies. So it's fine. It feels great.
I always like wondered, like, if I had, no matter what my body looked like, if I had to wear those shorts.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean?
Why are they doing it?
Why? Like, do you know, like, who's the first one who's like, nah, make them smaller. Smaller.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Like they're swimming in Europe.
Yeah. I mean, and
it's the worst.
Why don't any of the wrestlers have dicks? Like what?
It's the weirdest
I don't want to
thing.
say that I'm looking, but how come none of you have dicks?
It's crazy.
Not a dick?
They all look like the toy.
Yeah, not a dick amongst all of you? Is that part of how you cast them?
When also,
how can you not? Is it dickless? They're all dickless?
Some of them.
They have no dicks? It's like Silver Surfer. No dick. How come that guy has no dick?
Some of the guys are wearing like cool, like full outfits, and then like half of them are still committed to the undies. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Other guys are wearing the full thing, and it looks great.
Yeah, and especially when you have no dick.
Makes
put
no
on some
sense.
pants. You know what I mean? I would understand it if Brett Favre was out there.
would make a very popular wrestler.
Should do, but you got Brett Favre dick. Put on some pants, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's so
Put
funny.
on some fucking pants.
I would love to have you back on. I would even get to any of our questions.
Man. I would. I have to tell you something. I don't know what you had heard of me before we met.
Mm-hmm.
But you're every bit as kind and as nice.
Thank you so much.
You're the exact person. Because when I heard this, when I was like, what's he like? And they would tell me, I'm like, that seems like not true.
Oh, they said I was a bad guy?
No. Good guy.
Oh, they said I was nice.
Overly friendly, really nice, not negative. And I was like, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I haven't met a lot of comics who aren't angry.
Right, yeah, I'm happy.
Happy. But it's such a relief to know that you are genuinely that.
Thank you very much, man. I
That's
appreciate
awesome,
that.
dude.
Yeah, we have no reason to be sad. We have the best jobs in the world.
Come on.
There's no reason to be grumpy.
Yeah, you're doing like, what are you complaining
Every
about?
day I'm like, I can't believe we're getting away with this.
Me,
I look at the check and I go, you know that I just spent most of the weekend at the hotel in the hot tub watching Netflix, and then I'd go back to my room and play Red Dead Redemption, and then they gave me thousands of dollars to make people laugh for an hour? I would have done it for free.
Yeah.
We did it for free for years.
for years.
I can't believe we're getting away with it.
And you're a Red Dead Redemption guy.
Oh, man, just finished
You
it.
have to come on and talk with Freddie and I.
I would love to.
You know, Freddie is a huge wrestling fan.
I know we know that, but I didn't know that till he told me that.
And he finished Red Dead Redemption, and he did a review on the podcast. He was like, "Man, the story writers for these video games now
It's incredible.
are so good.
Yeah.
They're so good with story and in getting you basically pregnant with the story.
Yeah.
That even it's past the video game, you're like, what is gonna happen?
Or I'm like
Yeah.
taking a little boy fishing in the game. Like,
Yeah.
why would I? In any other game, I'd be like, this is dumb. But like on that, like you're so invested in this. You know, that's the future game, which is Red Dead Redemption 1's son,
Yeah.
Jack. It's John Marston's
But
son.
it's crazy how they layered that in,
It's
right?
insane. Yeah, the whole thing. What? And I always talk about how I loved Red Dead so much that I was in a suite. And I probably already told this on the podcast, but I was in a suite with Larry the Cable Guy at a Cornhuskers
I saw
football
that.
game.
I texted him when you were there.
Yeah,
I used to
and-
tour them. Great dude.
Great guy. We're having so much fun, and he's being such a great host and stuff. But I'm not a big college football guy. Like I love pro sports and stuff like that. And I've got this great. People would kill to be in the suite with Larry the Cable Guy at a Cornhuskers game. It's like his thing. And I'm texting another grown man about how I stayed up all night to get the Arabian horse from the snow area. I was just like, yeah, dude. Got the Arabian. And he's like, fuck you, man. I was like, it's ridiculous. That's how great this game was.
Yeah.
And Larry's like, Dan's like, who are you texting? I was like, oh, nobody. And I couldn't stop. The game is that good. It's that good of a game.
Yeah, the review.
I'd love to know, was Freddie a good cowboy or a bad cowboy?
He
Or do
did
you know?
both. He was
did
good.
both?
He beat the game.
And then went back and did it as a good cowboy?
He went back to do it as bad.
Oh.
He starts good.
I only did it bad.
Oh, you did?
Hey, man, I'm not doing...
This is
Literally,
a hellion over here.
Oh, dude, if you watch me play Red Dead, I was doing a bit on stage for a while, like when they took Kevin Hart off the Oscars and then like found old tweets. I was like, you won't find anything in my old tweets. Yeah, just cat jokes and stuff like that. But if you want to end my career, find a way to show people the way I behave on Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft
hilarious.
Auto. My career would be over.
Yeah.
I'm just bludgeon women. I'll just beat the hell out of women. I shot a nun in the head, which you can't even progress with the story if you kill the nun.
Keep starting him over.
I keep starting over. I'm like chasing kids down, trying to stab them with knives.
That's
like
so funny, dude.
I was straight wolf the whole time, bad cowboy the whole time. I'd love to talk. Did you play the game?
I did. I started on Sea of Thieves with him.
Okay. Phenomenal game.
Sea of Thieves?
No, I'm saying just Red Dead. You should play it.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. I had just never been on in Red Dead is from what I hear the same thing. I had never been on a game with a map that big.
Oh yeah.
It's intimidating,
Everything's
right?
open world these days.
I was like, where do you even start? And Freddie was like, just do it.
Just go around,
Just do
yeah.
it. Just go around.
Well, and also like the Red Dead saved me. I don't know about Sea of Thieves, but on Red Dead, there's a map, and then you can hit like a waypoint, which is like a GPS.
Yeah.
So that will light up the map to tell you which way to walk.
Yeah.
So that helped me a lot. If that wasn't there, I would still be trying to play Red Dead because it was confusing. I put a waypoint for everything.
Yeah.
I'd be going to like a next cabin over. I'd be like, waypoint. Like I need to figure out. It was great.
How long did it take you to beat the game?
Like I think 70 hours
It's pretty amazing.
for the whole story mode.
You travel with your game stuff?
Yeah, there's got. Actually, I'll hook you up with a company. It's in like a little case, and you open it, and the top part of that case is the monitor, and it's this really nice thing. So you don't have to worry about the TVs at the hotels having the plugs. You just have the suitcase. You open. I play it at the airport sometimes, and people will be so jealous. Like he brought his whole Xbox. I'm like just sitting there, like playing. Like it's phenomenal. All you need is 2 outlets for the
No shit.
yeah, the thing, the
Yeah,
monitor.
let me
and
know
for
what
the,
that is.
Oh, for sure, dude. They'll give you free stuff. I hooked them up with Eric Griffin.
Yeah.
And they like brought him down to games, which I think is here. I think it's in California.
I don't know.
It's spelled gay or GAEMS games.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but I'll set you up. You can play on the road. It's changed my life.
I would love to. And I would love to have you on our podcast. And I would, of course,
sure.
love to come back, dude.
Yeah, dude. What do you know when this is gonna air?
The 27th,
Do you know where you're at the 27th?
end of the month.
End of this month?
If you don't, you can text it to me, and when this goes up, we'll put it in the intro outro.
I'm actually taking a little vacation with my wife on the 27th.
Ooh,
There you
nice.
go.
Where you guys headed?
We're actually, it's going to sound weird, but we're going to Boise because we're looking at land up there.
Nice. That's great.
You know what Boise reminds me of?
Germany?
Seattle. yeah. It reminds me
Blonde
of
hair,
Seattle
blue
in the
eyes.
early 90s.
Oh, okay.
It's just starting. The land is cheap, but all the microbrews and the foodies are moving there.
Oh, I like that.
And so downtown Boise, it's where I shot my special, dude.
Oh, really?
My buddies, did you ever meet Gavin Boyd? He was from Seattle.
No.
I started doing stand up with him too. They have a company up there. Let me think. I think the special 5 red cameras. We shot it
Jeez.
at the knitting factory.
Just 5 red cameras is expensive.
Yeah.
$15,000.
Yeah.
For the entire. That's it.
The whole special.
The whole special.
Oh, that's
Editing
great.
and everything. $15,000.
That's incredible.
These guys, and
They
the
know what they're
reason I
doing.
shot it in Boise is because I was like, where have I never been? But kind of is my demo,
Sure.
blue collar, that I can do this material that I've been doing.
And they will be like, this is fresh and new and hot ears. Yeah.
And they're desperate for stand up because
Sure.
they don't have a great club up there.
Great idea.
So it was a no brainer. It was a no brainer, and these guys were professional, and it was really really good.
Oh, it sounds awesome.
And the releasing it on YouTube was the smartest thing I've ever done.
Really? Well, maybe I'll talk to your guys.
Let me know.
Do mine. Yeah, thanks for being on. We
Thanks
love
for
you,
having
man.
me. Appreciate it.
Tony, you want to promote your game, Screen Peaks?
Yeah, Screen Peekers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we got some stuff coming. So
But you know what I
Alright.
would like to promote?
Yeah.
yeah.
That Control Chaos show.
Yes.
That I do.
So fun.
I do a show every Tuesday
it is
night.
chaos. I'll tell
is
you.
chaos.
It is chaos.
And it's ridiculous.
When you're in it, you're just going, what is happening?
the first time you're in it,
Yeah.
I can see first timers like, did somebody just walk on the set? For
Yeah,
no
did we
reason?
start?
Yeah. Yeah, but the hour has happened so quickly.
Yeah, it's super great.
And it's really, it's just like my stand-up. It's no politics, all fun,
Yeah.
just laughing and friends hanging out together. And that's all it is. But it's like a podcast talk show hybrid.
How old is your son?
21.
21. Has he noticed has he gotten like a following from being on it too?
Yeah, he's got a big following from the jokes on YouTube also.
Oh, nice.
People always say, is it true? It's interesting that people are so concerned whether every part of the
God.
story is true.
Right.
What
Do you find that too?
every comedian does. Well, it's because it's like, why can't you just trust me? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you need it to be?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it started as a true place, and then I've tagged it with some things that are just like
Yeah.
exaggerations or whatever. But for the most part, yeah. Like, I used to do like all these lies in my act, like just total lies. I'd call my dad like a racist. He
Yeah.
isn't, but if it worked for the joke.
Yeah.
And then there's one part where I was like, I'm 6'4". I'm not afraid of a female stalker. You know, I'm 6'4". I'll
Yeah.
knock her out. You know, and people afterwards be, you really 6'4"? It's
That's-
like that's what you're questioning. I said so much bullshit
Yeah.
up there, and you're worried about my height, like that. Like, it's so annoying. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm always like, if this story, does it change how funny you think it is?
right.
Well, then,
It's just
because
pedestrians.
nobody's like Jimmy Page. Was there a stairway to heaven or not?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure I believe.
I wonder if they did deal with that.
I like the music, but Stairway to Heaven doesn't seem to make a lot of sense
Yeah,
to me.
wait a minute. Why would I have to go to stairs?
It's you're dead. You're not walking
Yeah,
upstairs.
dude, I would float. I have wings. I'm going to glory. Ugh.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
I love you, buddy. Thanks
Thanks
for being
for
on
having
here. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Friendship.
How about that? Great episode. Thank you, Josh Wolf, for being here. We love you, buddy, and I'm sure this is going to be one of the better received episodes, just because the way you're so easy to talk to. I think that you're easy to listen to, easy, cool guy that we just like. That's all. I can't say enough positive things about you. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, if you want to watch this or get free comedy club tickets, go to my patreon.com/Jeff Dye. Subscribe there. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Peace.